I'm gonna tell you the story about Boris, whether you like it or not. All about the land of the USSR, it's the land that he's forgot.
The fact that you are one of the biggest rock stars in Russia, that's going to be the first thing they're going to grab onto.
People are already clamoring to talk to Boris.
Camera 2 ready to zoom into Boris.
To make a record in the West with Western musicians by a Russian without censorship.
Here was something new, something exciting.
I know Boris is searching all his life something interesting, something not ordinary.
Like a million miles away from here, I can see some kind of light here.
The songs are not working for Boris.
No one really understands what he wants exactly. I have pressure from you, I have pressure from Dave, I have a pressure from my own self, which is much bigger than any other pressures.
I think no matter where Boris travels now, he's already made the longest journey.
It's the best Grebenshchikov concert I've ever seen.
We found something that nobody ever had found before.
Этот поезд в огне, нам не на что больше жать. Этот поезд в огне.
I could never have predicted that I will still be alive at 71.
After criticizing the Ukraine invasion, his music was blacklisted.
Most probably I will wind up in jail for speaking out against the war.
I don't think the need to rebel will ever go away.
So everyone you know here on Big Blend Radio, I always get excited and I say, I'm excited about today's show. And it's true, again. And that's because today we're going to talk about a documentary called The Long Way Home. It was out years ago, and it's about this amazing musician is a rock legend, Boris Grebenshchikov, and I don't even know if I said that correctly, but I have a friend who's going to teach us how to pronounce that correctly. We have director and producer Stephen Lawrence joining us to talk about this documentary that is back out now. And you'll be able to see it at the 22nd MoMA International Film Festival. And that is coming out on January 28th. So check that out. Links are in the episode notes. So welcome, Stephen. How are you?
Okay, Lisa. Good to meet you. I am the producer of The Long Way Home.
Yes.
And co-director of an epilogue that we've made. But the director of the original film is Michael Apted, a British filmmaker who was one of our great directors and made and the 7 Up documentaries that some of your viewers may know about.
Gorillas in the Mist.
Gorillas in the Mist, Coal Miner's Daughter, Thunderheart, Gorky Park.
Huge.
Yeah, he even made one of the James Bond films, The World Is Not Enough. So he was really something.
I think it's so important to talk about, like what I was saying about being excited, because it reignited my fire as a human watching this. You know, as a human, that all these little things are going on around the world all the time. And that's the role of documentaries, right?
Yes. Well, at the time when we made the film, Americans didn't know about Boris Grebenshchikov. He was working and recording in the Soviet Union for 15 years. He was an underground artist, which meant that his work didn't even get to the Russian public except through illegal means, people copying audio cassettes and sending them around to friends. So that was a very different moment with media. Now we have social media, we have the World Wide Web, the original name of the internet, and everything is available to everyone if they want to look for it, except where there is censorship. And there was censorship in the Soviet Union then, and Boris was the beneficiary of a moment starting in 1985 when the Soviet Union started to open up because of the efforts of Mikhail Gorbachev, who was the premier and was trying to change the country, not exactly democratize it, but at least he led artists out from the underground to perform and distribute their work. And The Long Way Home is about one of the great artists, Boris Grebenshchikov, at this pivotal moment when suddenly there was an opportunity to record an album in the West for a major record label. And
CBS.
He had never even left his country. So this is a film where you get to observe what happened to him, and you get to learn about where he was coming from and what it was like for him to have this experience parachuting into the Western rock and roll world, which was wildly glamorous and technologically advanced compared to where he was coming from. He'd never had a producer. He'd never been in a modern studio, but he knew because he was a student. He was a brilliant student of Western rock and roll and folk music and religion and philosophy on top of everything. But as much as he could have anticipated what he was going into, he didn't really know. So it's a film about this brilliant fish out of water who goes through this experience and brings it back home to his hometown fans in Leningrad, which is now St. Petersburg. And then we have an epilogue to the film that we made last year about what happened to Boris after his American album, Radio Silence, was released and where he is in this moment. And it's a very, very interesting bookend because the original film and the epilogue reflect seismic political changes that have happened. And I think one of the benefits of the original film is, particularly for young people, an opportunity to see Russia at a moment when there was excitement, there was hope for freedom and democracy, and then to understand how we've come full circle in a way that Russia is now an autocracy again. And it's not a good place for artists, particularly artists like Boris, who are moral and, deeply committed to individual
Well, he can
freedom.
get shut down at any time and even imprisoned for it.
Yeah, yeah. No, artists in Russia who speak out against the war will get arrested and tried and likely go to jail. The best outcome would be getting fined. But if Boris were in Russia now, he would probably be in prison for a long time.
I think what's so interesting is that we've gone through so many cycles, and watching him in this, even to think of this documentary being made, I wonder about Michael Apted going in and going, we're going to make this. We need to do this because it's so epic. And musicians uniting and still wanting to make the best product and have communication, different languages. And at the same time, he's looking at America accepting him and his country accepting him for going to America. His band having all these different feelings and emotions of even, are they good enough for the West? And is the West good enough for them? There's all of that too. All of this stuff is going on. And I just want to give a big shout out to Dave Stewart because he's just like the most incredible human being on the planet, isn't he? For so many musicians. He is.
Dave was amazing. Nothing fazed him. He embraced Boris. He embraced the project. There are moments in the process, which you'll see in the film, Dave felt challenged about what to do. What was right for Boris? Dave didn't want it to be a Dave Stewart album. He wanted it to be a Boris album. And Boris wanted to make a Boris album, but he was working with Dave Stewart. And he was trying to make something that would be successful for a big record label, CBS Records, which became Sony soon thereafter. He was writing, Boris had not written songs in English. So he got this deal with this major label that was the home of Bob Dylan and Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen and Miles Davis. So he had all this pressure and everything was new to him, except I think up here as an artist, he knew what he wanted. He was grounded, but still it was a challenge to him to maintain, I think, his center, his full artistic integrity when so much new was being thrown at him. The technology, the demands of promotion, publicity.
Stardom. Doesn't that actually remind people of like artists who have this amazing gift and then wait, like now you have to deal with stardom. And that is something that you could be the best artist in the world, but now are you equipped to actually deal with people while you create?
Well, you'll see a moment, people who get to see the film, and I hope a lot of your viewers will, where he goes on the David Letterman show after his album has been released in the US. and he says something that isn't politically correct.
No, good for him.
But is honest. That
Yes.
got him in a lot of trouble.
So this is going to be shown at this film festival, right? At MoMA Film Festival. It's an international film festival. From there, are you hoping, because you've done the epilogue, and also, I mean, that's what I was bringing you into the show. I'm like, you really put this back in, remastered it, and put it back together for what we can view today. Do you hope this will go further from the film festival?
Oh, yes. We hope to have digital distribution.
Awesome.
Sometime this spring or summer on demand. So hopefully it will be available on all the platforms, Amazon, Apple TV, et cetera, et cetera. Look, this is an independent documentary. It's about an artist who is a Russian-speaking artist who made an American album 37 years ago. But I think it's a timeless film. I think it's a damn entertaining film. It informs you about the past, but it also really speaks to the moment. And Michael Apted was one of our great film directors. It's one of his best documentaries, in my opinion. He loved the film, but sadly it disappeared over 30 years ago. I'm saddened that he's not here to see this film projected on a big screen, but we've dedicated the film to his memory, because all of us who had the pleasure of working with him, loved and respected him. And the epilogue is a kind of tribute to him as well, because we use the same technique that he used in his 7 Up films, flashing back and forth between the present and the past with the same subject. Boris was very gracious to participate in the epilogue, and he's incredibly vital. He has a new album that just dropped last week. If you don't speak Russian, okay.
I like what he's doing, and he's okay. I don't want to ruin the epilogue.
But anyway, check out his new album, Strange Things. It's available on Bandcamp.
Perfect.
The cool thing is that we live in a period of AI where all the Russian can get translated into English pretty easily. It's not necessarily an artful translation, but you can get the idea of what's going on.
That's the beauty of this documentary, is that it shows this connection of, and Dave Stewart said it in there, because I lived in different countries through my life and learned all these songs without knowing the words, like actually understanding, but pain, the sound of pain, the sound of joy, love, all of that, and just feel good. Like, he kind of reminds me of Cat Stevens in a weird way, of how he just keeps going and wanting like some vibe of unity, love, the right thing. And shout out to the band Aquarium for all they did too, because they went through a lot of it. And so thank you for joining us, everyone. Links are in the episode notes. Go, if you can, go to the festival, go do it. It's all there, the information. Thank you. We're going to be watching for it to get out on, VOD and digitally for everyone. Thank you so much. We've got new music in our house. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank Boris. Follow Boris as well. And thank you, Lisa. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.